Lads and ladies, welcome back. Thanks for stopping by. So, as you are probably well aware, Black Ops 6 Season 5 Reloaded launches today, September 4th, and Activision is getting desperate. So yesterday, I logged into my Warzone account to do my regular Wednesday afternoon stream. And when I logged in, I saw that somehow, out of the blue, I had 22 brand new Battle Pass tokens that I didn't have when I logged out. When I logged out, I had 2 Battle Pass tokens. I logged in Wednesday morning at 11 o'clock, and I had 22 Battle Pass tokens. As you can imagine, I was a little confused by this. Well, as it turns out, Activision is getting so desperate that they are giving 20 free Battle Pass tier tokens to every single person who logs into either Black Ops 6 or Warzone in between now and I think like September 14th or something. Now, think about this. According to Activision, at least, 20 free Battle Pass tier skips is like $20 US worth of content. Like I said, I'm not saying that I think that's $20 worth of content, but according to Activision, they believe that 20 Battle Pass tier skips is worth 20 of your dollars. And of course, we all know how much Activision loves money, so why on earth would they be willing to give every single person who logs into Call of Duty for the next 2 weeks 20 free dollars? Well, like I said, it's because they're getting desperate. And why are they getting desperate? Well, it's because Black Ops 6 Season 5 Reloaded brand new content is dropping today and absolutely nobody seems to care. I mean, think about this. Right now, we have brand new content dropping for a game that is less than a year old, and people in that gaming space, the first-person shooter competitive gaming space, are currently playing Battlefield 2042, a game that's not only 4 years old, but that has just been universally panned and generally despised since its launch. People would rather play that game than play the brand new content for the current Call of Duty. So why is this happening, and why is 20 free dollars worth of content simply not enough to entice players to come back? Well, first of all, let's just look at the content drop, see what's included, and then we'll talk about why not only is it not enough, but it doesn't matter how much they would have or could have dropped in this update, it still simply never would have been enough. All right, so here we are looking at the Season 5 Reloaded blog post, and let's just really quick check this out and see what content's included in this update. So if we skip down to the multiplayer summary, we can see that for multiplayer content, there's going to be one new map, Compete to Win It All in Jackpot, a new 6v6 map, dropping operators into the casino Lutazi. Fight in and around the ornate locale nestled in the hills of Avalon, battling on the main floor, backstage, and outside, spanning vistas worth $1 million. Getting some new LTM modes, keep slaying or risk an explosive death in the Crank Demolition LTM, call up your squad and get ready to redeploy to Ransack and Blueprint Gunfight. And finally, a new score streak, set the enemy aflame with the new Combat Bow, a low-cost score streak that detonates on impact, leaving a pool of flames in its wake. Anyway, let's just keep going. We're going to zip through this content drop, so we'll go down to Zombies content. We have the content summary. Reckoning, we're getting directed mode for the new Reckoning map, Team Cranked, LTM, and new leaderboards. They've been doing these leaderboard events for Zombies for like the past month or two now. I really don't pay attention to it, but maybe people who play Zombies do. So, you know, again, perfectly acceptable content. Jumping down to Warzone, really not much for Warzone. We have the Deadline LTM, battle against enemy players as well as enemy combatants known as hostile soldiers in this new respawn-enabled LTM where the lowest scoring squads are eliminated through the match. This sounds like it could be a completely fun mode. I will probably check it out myself. And then there's just a little announcement about the World Series of Warzone coming up at the end of the month. And then jumping down to general content, of course, there are going to be events. This is where we're going to unlock the Combat Bow. We're also going to be unlocking our first ever revolver for Black Ops 6. It's a 357 called the Grave Mark, which you can see pictured right here in this picture. And in addition to that, we're also getting a new magazine attachment for the PPSH-41, again, through events. This magazine attachment is, of course, going to give you a bunch of ammo, improved range, recoil control, and mobility, but it's going to have a negative effect to both your hipfire and ADS spread, which honestly, just looking at this on paper, remember, they still haven't fixed the muzzle flash issue with the PPSH-41. So I just don't see this new attachment being enough to make the PPSH 41 something that people are gonna want to use in Warzone. So it's still just gonna be one of those guns that nobody takes in Warzone, and the meta, of course, remains the same. And then finally we get down to this part, and this is really what I wanted to talk about. This is what I was referencing in the very beginning of the video. I know that we just kind of blew through that entire content drop really quickly, but I don't really want to talk about the content. And don't get me wrong, we could of course take time to pick apart that content and point out how this content drop, like most of the content that's been dropped for this game, is very clearly designed by people who don't really understand or play the game. Nothing in this content drop is going to shake up or change the meta in any way whatsoever, either for multiplayer or for Warzone. But again, that's not what we're here to talk about. I want to talk about these 20 free tier skips and 5 hours worth of XP tokens for not only player XP, not only weapon XP, but also Battle Pass XP. And you know how infrequently they give out Battle Pass XP tokens. And why is that? Of course, because the Battle Pass is money for them. So not only are they giving away free Battle Pass double XP tokens, but also 20 free Battle Pass tier skips. And look, it's just very obvious that all of this stuff was tacked on at the very end. And I mean, of course, they try to like cover it up and make it look like the 20 free tier skips is to celebrate the Black Ops 7 reveal, and all the XP tokens are a thank you for downloading the update. But I mean, it's obvious that this stuff was all tacked on at the end. So that's what we're really here to talk about. Why are they doing this? Why is all this stuff getting tacked on at the end? And they're doing this, they're tacking all this stuff on at the end because they're desperate. Because they know that even though this is a light content drop, and even though the content isn't that great, they know that it doesn't matter how much content was going to be in this drop. People just simply don't care because it's not about the content. It has never been about the content. Not to say that good content isn't important, but again, there's a much bigger picture here. There are far more important factors at play. And what it really all boils down to is a fundamental misalignment between the people in charge of this game, the people making decisions for Call of Duty, and the players, the Call of Duty community. You know, like I said, I was streaming yesterday, and in that stream, I was kind of talking about how I was feeling sitting there playing Warzone, because I was streaming Warzone. And I realized that, you know, every time that I load up Call of Duty now, I get a feeling, a tightness in my chest. And it isn't excitement that I'm getting ready to drop into a competitive game. It isn't that excitement that I'm getting ready to play some Call of Duty and I know it's going to be fast paced and exciting and there's going to be good players and I'm going to have a good time. That's not what it is. It's like this stress, this exasperation. It's like this resignation that I know that I'm about to deal with just a whole bunch of nonsense. I know that I'm getting ready to deal with crappy servers. I know that I'm getting ready to deal with skill-based matchmaking. I know that I'm getting ready to deal with the wacky skins that have absolutely no place in a modern military shooter game. I know that I'm getting ready to deal with disbanding lobbies and a complete and total lack of community with this authoritarian in-game chat monitoring. And most importantly, I know that I'm going to deal with all this stuff and none of it is necessary because it is all the result of direct decisions and actions taken by the people who are in charge of and making decisions about this game. We have given feedback about all of this stuff for years, and that feedback has been completely ignored. And just taking one look at this update, we can see that they are still ignoring this feedback. Nobody cares about 20 tier skips. Nobody cares about the Battle Pass. Nobody cares about XP tokens. None of that stuff matters. Because if the game's good, we don't need XP tokens. If the game's good, we don't care. We're just gonna play it. You're gonna level up. You're gonna unlock stuff. It doesn't matter because the game's good and it's fun and you keep coming back because it's good and it's fun. And so that's why it doesn't matter how much content was gonna be in this update. It doesn't matter what content was going to be in this update, unless this update is directly addressing all of those concerns and complaints that we have been bringing up since like 2019 or 2020, then it doesn't matter. And in the long run, it's not going to matter. But here's the reality. Right? Here is the reality. The reality is that right now, I'm still playing Battlefield 2042. And when Battlefield 6 comes out and this community has a real viable option, Call of Duty is going to have some real viable competition. Personally, I know what I'm going to be logging into 9 out of 10 times. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. Also, if you've made it this far into the video, thank you so very much for watching. I do truly appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, give me a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Also, I'm streaming on Twitch every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So stop on by, drop a line in the chat, say hello when you get there. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one real soon.